You want to invest in real estate in Germany? If so, which city should you invest in? A big city where properties are super expensive, like this 36 square meter flat in Munich for 730,000 euros, a casual 20,000 euro per square meter, or for basically the same price, you can buy this entire house with residential and commercial space, almost 1500 square meter on a 2000 square meter plot. Not even 500 euro per square meter, 20,000 euro per square meter for a flat in Munich, or 500 euro per square meter for an entire house in Chemnitz. Which one should you invest in? We can find the answer when looking at the ABCD classification that ranks German cities. What makes a city fall into the A, B, C or D category? And based on that ranking, which location or locations should you invest in? All in this episode of the GermanReal.Estate Wiki. ABCD basically ranks German cities on their attractiveness as a location. One could bring a lot of arguments if a city is C or D. For A cities, it's pretty obvious. A cities are the top 7 cities in Germany. Our capital Berlin with a population of 3.7 million people. Hamburg with 1.8 million. Munich, where we are, with 1.5 million inhabitants. And Cologne with 1.1 million. Those cities are definitely A locations simply for their size, as those are the 4 cities with a population of more than 1 million people. What are the other 3 cities? Frankfurt, because this is the financial epicenter of Germany, if not Europe. Big thank you in the name of the city of Frankfurt for the Brexit here. Stuttgart is the 6th largest city in Germany, capital of Baden-Württemberg and home of Mercedes-Benz and Porsche. That's why Stuttgart is also an A location. And last but certainly not least, Düsseldorf, home of the rich that is right in the middle between Cologne and the Ruhrgebiet, the economic powerhouse of Germany. So in order to be considered an A location, you need to have a high population, economic power, or ideally both. Pretty obvious and not that much to argue about here. With B cities it gets interesting already, because most lists we found on the internet seem pretty outdated. A B city is a second-tier city with, for example, a large university. Bochum has the 5th largest university and the largest university that is not in an A location with more than 40,000 students. TU Dresden is home to more than 40,000 students and employees. And Silicon Saxony in Dresden, when you order Silicon Valley on Wish, with more than 400 companies and 40,000 employees, contributes to Dresden being a B city as well. Not far away is Leipzig, which is one of the fastest growing cities in Europe, also a B city. Augsburg, with its proximity to Munich, is B. Mannheim is B as well. Nuremberg or Bonn, with its proximity to Cologne. Even Mönchengladbach, with its proximity to Düsseldorf, is considered a B city. That's where we launched our first real estate security token just a couple of weeks ago, giving you guys the chance to invest in the welcome home property development starting at just 100 euro. Check out our website GermanReal.Estate if you're interested. With the C cities, the lists get longer and longer. While we were at 500,000 or at least more than 250,000 inhabitants for the B cities, C cities are more like more than 100,000 inhabitants. Meaning even though they're not that important for Germany as a whole, they're still very important to their region. Aachen has almost 250,000 inhabitants and a university. That's a really good C city that might become a B city eventually. Like Augsburg, that is still C on many lists, even though it has grown to a B city in the recent years. Or a really good C city, that's up for discussion. Halle is almost 250,000 inhabitants as well, with a university and close proximity to B city Leipzig. Same for Potsdam, which is close to A city Berlin. Erlangen has a university and is close to Nuremberg. Wiesbaden and Mainz are close to Frankfurt. I think you get the point, right? A B city has to offer something aside from the proximity to an A location. Economic power, a great university, high population, all that makes you a B city. If you have not that much to offer really, except the proximity to another great location, that makes you more like a C city. And that answers what a D city is. A city with around 100k inhabitants maybe, like Regensburg, that has also the BMW factory. Wolfsburg, which has Volkswagen, even though one could argue that is C. I'd put it in D though, because this city is highly dependent on one single employer, like Herzogenaurach with Adidas or Walldorf with SAP. Koblenz is D. Chemnitz is D. This is where the house for the price of a one-room flat in Munich is that we've seen earlier. And the list goes on and on. Which of these cities should you invest in now? It depends on your personal financial strategy and on your budget, of course. Because the better the location, the more expensive it is to buy a property. In the C and D locations, it is cheaper. The return on rent is potentially higher if you find a tenant. And for some D cities, that is a big if. The best is to diversify, to buy a lot of different properties in a lot of A, B, C and maybe even D locations. I know that it's quite tough to do because, let's be honest, where's the money gonna come from? And that is exactly why we developed GermanReal.Estate. Our real estate security tokens allow you to invest in many different properties all around Germany, starting at usually just €100. That makes it a lot easier to diversify your investment portfolio. Just check out our website GermanReal.Estate that is linked in the description and see what kind of real estate security tokens are currently available.